Hey everyone, my name is Richard, and on this channel I try to give you tips, tricks, advice, and how-tos on travel and outdoor content, and today I want to talk about how to save money on outdoor gear. The last video I made was about why outdoor gear is so expensive, and as interesting as that information is, it isn't exactly useful. So today I wanted to make a video about how to find that same gear for less, or what some of the alternatives might be. So let's jump into it. The first way is to find sale and clearance items, but before we get into that, I want to make sure that you understand the difference between those two terms. Sales are promotional and can happen really anytime. Typically, you'll find them around holidays or celebrating events, and they are designed to move new product. The unfortunate thing about sales is they don't typically include the really high-end, nice items, but usually more casual products, entry-level items, essentially the basics. And they're also designed to move items that companies have a lot of and they just want to get out the door. Clearance, on the other hand, are items that are either going out of season, are being updated, or are being discontinued. In the outdoor industry, this typically happens twice a year. The first time is in the fall when summer, spring items go out of season, then again in the spring when fall and winter items go out of season. I say this for the people who walk into stores in mid-July and ask why aren't the shorts and t-shirts on sale? Because there are still 2 more months of summer left and we can still make a full profit off of them. But there are smart ways to shop both sale and clearance items. For sale items, look specifically for gear, so tents, sleeping bags, backpacks, and cook systems. Also look for shoes, and if you can snag it, some of those higher end items. Think really nice rain jackets or performance synthetics. The reason for this is gear, shoes, and higher end performance items doesn't really ever go out of season. They can be used anytime, anywhere, and this is especially true for gear. Backpacks can be used year-round, and even items like 3-season tents, sleeping bags, sleeping pads, and cook systems can be used for most of the year, and even during those colder months, you can always travel to places that are warm enough to use them. So don't expect these types of items to go on clearance unless they're redesigning the product or discontinuing it. So all of those Black Friday sales, Memorial Day sales, 4th of July sales are designed to move products that companies have a lot of out the door. But what you should look for is X% off this brand or X% off all tents or cook systems. This is the best way to maximize sale opportunities if you're looking for specific items. For clearance shopping, this is the best way to find clothing for cheap. And I know I said don't expect to find any of the high performance items in the clearance section, but if you do, it's probably going to be a better price than when it was on sale. The only downside to clearance shopping are the sizes and colors. Because you're shopping at the end of the season, overall availability is just massively reduced. And typically the colors that go on clearance are going to be the seasonal colors and patterns, not the standard black, blue, and gray. So if you're trying to find a medium-sized jacket in black, it's probably not going to happen. And a little hidden gem to find clearance items is the website Steep and Cheap. They might not always have your exact size or color preference, but they have tons of past season items from name brand companies, anywhere from 40 to 60% off. I'd also suggest signing up for those promotional emails and memberships. If there's a particular item that you have your eye on, getting a notification from the company that it's now on sale is the perfect way to pounce on those much desired items. The next option is to shop for alternative brands. A lot of people want to shop name brand for their outdoor gear, but there are lots of options that will do just as good of a job as a Patagonia piece or something from the North Face or Arcteryx. If you're looking for quick dry shirts or athletic pants for hiking, you really don't need a $70 merino wool shirt from Icebreaker when a $20 athletic top from Target will do the same job. And there's not going to be much of a difference between hiking in $80 shorts or a pair of cheap gym shorts. One of my favorite examples of this is with the Uniqlo ultralight down jacket. Look at any ultralight backpacking blog or video, and inevitably they'll mention this jacket. For an ultralight backpacker, this Uniqlo jacket is warm, lightweight, pretty durable, and packs really small. all for only $70, compared to another favorite, the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer jacket, which retails at $300. The idea is, if you get an item that you're just going to thrash out there in the woods, there's no reason to spend a lot of money on it. This is also a great option for newcomers to the outdoors, and it works just as well for clothing as it does with gear. This gives you the option of buying entry-level items, so you don't have to put out a small loan or get a reverse mortgage on your house. That way, if you discover you don't like doing certain outdoor activities, or you're doing them far less than you thought you would, you haven't invested too much money in it. This also gives you the option to build and adapt your outdoor kit as you go. By realizing what items and features work for you as you start doing more and more trips, you can upgrade only the items that you need to. So maybe your cheaper hiking shirt and shorts work fine for you, but you realize you should probably invest in a better backpack or pair of hiking boots. This way you can ease into the nicer products while still using the cheaper alternatives for some of your other basics. The next option is to buy used. There are tons of websites and online groups that sell lightly used gear for much cheaper than the retail price. I particularly like eBay, Poshmark, and just selling groups on Facebook. Even some of the major outdoor brands are buying back their products, patching them up, and reselling them, most notably Patagonia with their Worn Wear collection and Arcteryx with their rock-solid used gear. There are a few downsides to buying used gear, of course. Obviously, you might have issues finding your size or the right color for you, but the biggest problem is that used gear is just not going to be as good as brand new gear. You also have to keep in mind that used gear is typically older models, and these older models will not have the same features or the same specs as their brand new counterparts. And naturally, you're going to have to purchase used items with a grain of salt. Hopefully the seller has described, documented, and photographed the item correctly, but that's something you're just going to have to be a little conscious about. Another great option is either renting or borrowing gear. If you have any friends, roommates, or family members that have the kind of gear you might need for an upcoming trip, just ask to borrow theirs. If what they have will work for you and they're willing to lend it, then there's no reason to spend extra money on it. Just make sure you take care of the items, buy them something nice or a 6-pack of beer, or maybe bring back a souvenir from your travels. If that's not an option, try to find somewhere where you can rent the gear. This is especially useful for first-time backpackers. Some places rent out tents, backpacks, sleeping bags, sleeping pads, cook systems, pretty much anything you might need for a backcountry adventure. So again, why spend the money on permanently owning something when you can spend a little to rent it just for the time you need it? The last big way to save money on outdoor gear is to adapt what you already have. I've kind of been hinting at this throughout the video, but if you have items that'll suffice, then why not use them? If you have an old pair of gym shorts or athletic pants, you can absolutely use those for a hike. You don't need to buy a hiking-specific backpack when your commuter backpack is just as comfortable to use for a short while. And if you feel confident hiking in your Nike running shoes, then why would you spend $120 plus on a brand new pair of hiking boots? It really just comes down to how comfortable and confident you are in the items you already own. I can't stress this last point enough, especially for beginning hikers, backpackers, and travelers. If you have items that work for you, there is no need to drop a bunch of money on brand new items that will effectively do the same thing as something you already own. So before you head out, please go through your closet, see what you have, and see what can continue to work for you for your future travels. My last piece of advice is to spend money strategically on the items that are really going to matter, or items that you are going to have for a long time. If your comfort while sleeping in a tent can really make or break a trip, then it'll be worth it to invest in a good sleeping bag and sleeping pad. Or if carrying an ultralight backpack and setup is really important for you for your next thru hike, then make sure that you are strategically buying the big ticket items that are going to impact the overall weight the most. Or if you're tired of being cold during the winter, then invest in a well-built winter coat. That way you won't just be warm for that one winter, but for many winters to come. So, I hope these tips, hacks, and pieces of advice will help you find the best items for you in your price range, because it really shouldn't cost a small fortune for you to be able to get outside and enjoy the outdoors. But I want to thank you again for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and if you find this information useful, please consider subscribing. And as always, I want to wish you all the best on your next adventure.